Please raise your hand if you own rental property. Please raise your hand, all right? The majority of us do, and that's great. All right. I have owned rentals, Tina's owned rentals for years, everyone, and I will tell you that the kid that does the yard work for me, the people that do the snowplow, the union carpenter or union electrician who scabs on the weekends, all right, has never, ever reported that income I paid them on my apartments. How many of you would agree with this? All right? Now, we don't know that, everyone, but chances are they haven't reported it. Now, let me tell you this. Congress knows that they feel that there's a $300 billion annual tax gap between what they think they should be collecting and what they are collecting. $300 billion. So the more 1099s that are issued, and everybody knows what a 1099 is. Every one of us gets these. I get one from CRS every year on speaking. You get them from your sponsoring broker. It's much like the W-2 that any AEs here might get from their association. The point is that the more 1099s are issued, the more this gap will be shrunk. So effective as I speak here in front of you today, January 1st of 2011, you now have to keep track of any individual vendor that you pay $600 or more to this year. This has been in NAR magazines, everybody. I think it's been in CRS magazines as well. But this is brand new as of January 1st of 2011. If you pay a person $600 or more who's not a corporation during 2011, this time next year, you have to issue them a 1099 miscellaneous. Everybody with me on this? How many of you have heard about this before walking in here this morning? I can't believe you haven't, all right? Effective for payment starting January 1st, 1099 miscellaneous to non-corporate service providers like painters, carpenters, electricians, accountants, etc. Susie, is Bellows Heating and Cooling still alive and well? All right. Bellow Heating and Cooling in Belleville, O'Fallon, Illinois, is a corporation. So you don't have to issue a 1099 to a corporation. But how do you know if they're a corporation? Look at this one, everyone. Have them sign a Form W-9. When you leave here today, I want every one of you to go, and I'll even do this if Mary Beth wants me to. I'll post a W-9 on CRS website for you to download. And the W-9 is not the same as a 1099. The W-9 is where the service provider gives you their name, their address, and their federal ID number. All right? For example, I was just in Boise, Idaho doing a GRI last week. And before I left, they said, Mr. Bird, would you give us a current W-9? And I carry them around with me. So on this W-9, I check the box that I'm a corporation. I give them my federal ID number and my name and my address. All right? Well, you're going to have to do the same thing with these service providers. Now, listen to me on this. This is a big issue. The W-9 is not the same as a 1099. The W-9 is the form they give you to give you the information to prepare the 1099. Get the W-9 from them now if you think you're going to go $600 or more, because if you try to get it from them at the end of the year, they may very well tell you to shove it. Would you agree? All right? And then let me tell you a response some are going to have right off the bat. Well, why do you want me to sign this to W-9? Why do you want me to fill this out? Because I have to issue you a 1099 this time next year. Well, this isn't taxable, is it? I'm serious, everybody. That's going to be the reaction. Now, take a look at the bottom bullet on this thing. On this slide, if they fail to give you a W-9, by law, you are required to withhold 28% of what you owe them. And go with me on this. In Chicagoland, all this snow, assume that I just got a bill for my apartments for $3,000 of snow plowing. And this person is 6'8" and 350 pounds. All right? Look at me. Look at me. All right? And I say, listen, I need to have you fill out this W-9 before I cut you a check. Well, I'm not going to sign anything. I don't report this income. I'm not going to sign it. Then I've got to withhold 28% of $3,000, $840. I can give you a check for $21.60, but I got to send the $840 to the IRS, all right? And I don't know the response I'm going to get, but I don't think I'm going to like it. Everybody agree? What about your normal monthly pool maintenance guy? What about your landscaper, everyone? And here's the question. Are they a corporation or not? Nate, yes or no? They're not, all right? Will you pay them, wipe that smirk off your face, will you pay them $600 or more, Nate? All right? Everybody get a W-9 in January or February. Now, let me tell you who is exempt from this, just to give an example, all right? Some of my wife's and my properties are managed by professional managers. I don't have the 1099 requirement, everyone, because the professional manager always has had to do this. Do you see the difference? All right? So what they're doing is they're simply applying this to the individual property owner's level. The accountants are specifically in the regulations. So if you have 35 rentals, and your accountant, who's not a corporation, as part of their fee does your return with 35 rentals, and the part of the fee that's for those 35 rentals is $700, do you have to give them a 1099, everyone? The answer is yes. Now, you're going to love, you always got to have some humor here.